we are. Good morning, everyone. I hope you're having an awesome day today. We are live on three platforms today. So, wherever you're live from, say hi. We will, if you're on LinkedIn, we cannot see you until after we're done with the live. But I hope you're having an awesome day today. So, we're talking about getting together face to face and how important that is for when you're neurodivergent. I mean, actually, it's not even just being neurodivergent and needing community. Everybody needs a village.
Yeah.
And we don't have that. And I've talked about a lot lately having that third space. In Europe, people have their third place. They have their third community that they get together with. They have work, they have family, and then they go to the
Have
local club.
friends.
They go to the coffee shop, they go to the town square, they go to the park, and they meet up with people outside of their immediate family and their work people. And we just don't have that in the US. And it is causing so much overwhelm.
I completely agree. It's like when you talk to people that are not from the United States, they are confused by uh our tactics, right? About just life in general. So we have hustle culture, right? You just work, work, work. We all feel really guilty. Not all of us, but a lot of us feel really guilty if we take any time for ourselves or downtime. And I think that is why maybe we don't have that third group, that friend group that has nothing to do with our jobs, that has nothing to do with our family, and that we go like do some things with them. I mean, even my own parents, my dad would say, like, why do I need friends? I have several relatives that I talk to, and that's enough. And it's like, yes, but to be a fully formed, functional adult, we need input from these different buckets, and one of them are people that are just your friend because they've chosen to be, right? And not because you work with them or because your family, because those are friends of close proximity. It's different.
Yeah, it is different. And we often, especially when you're neurodivergent, and this is non neurodivergent people tend to be able to find friend groups. They join clubs, they play golf, they do, and these aren't things that neurodivergents tend to love to do. Um, so it's hard for us to build that community, to build that village, to build our internal support tribe. And that's why face to face things are so freaking important. And as much as we provide like 5 ways to get together via Zoom a week and things like that, that's not enough. That is
Yeah.
really, really not enough. We need to be getting together face to face. And that's why we've created our retreat. Um, and yes, we keep going back and forth between calling it a conference and a retreat and a training and all of that because it's all of those things and it's hard to pick one. So um, it's so important to get together face to face. The neurodivergence that I have met face to face and I've been able to just be with without explaining myself, without apologizing for myself, without masking all of those things have become some of my closest friends. And
Yeah.
those are the ones that get together face to face with.
Well, or even like, okay, so COVID changed the face of the way a lot of us interact with people. It just did. And so I was already working in a hybrid online environment when COVID hit. So my life for that did not change. Like I got up, I did Zooms every day, I did all the things. But people were also doing that for their social time. And so, which is great, we all had to survive it. But now that that is over, people realize that they could do that and be social and not, which I'm not discounting that. I
Oh,
if you have people that live far away from you and you still want to be social, like I have a coaching client that I helped her set up a digital coffee date. So her and one of her girlfriends that live 3 states away, they have virtual coffee like every morning and she loves it. But there's something to be said about face-to-face interactions because Danielle and I were able to get together briefly for a dinner a month or 2 ago.
about to
And
go.
and it was it was wonderful, but it was so different, and I think it makes the bonds richer.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And bringing you into my world, because we met and we ate at my favorite place to eat, and she got to see where a little more of the area that I'm from, and we got to like point like those connections are really important. And even though a year ago, last November, we got together and we did a road trip together. You want to solidify ND relationships? Put 3 ND women in a vehicle
Oh,
together for 17 hours.
that was a long ass drive.
It is a long ass drive, but it was so much fun.
It was.
And
It
Vida
was.
and I, we spent 3 days together at the conference, and then we had 17 hours home that we spent so much time talking. And Vida and I will tell you that we will be lifelong friends, and there are stories to go with that trip that we will never forget. And we are officially tall enough to not be in booster seats. Just have to
Yes.
tell everybody that we
According to the
I think we're
Tennessee.
both only about this far above the line, but hey, we are above the line. Um,
Um,
but but that face to face together time is amazing. And we met Jessica at the conference,
mhm.
and now we hang out and talk to each other all day long, every day. Her and I were talking at 10 o'clock last night, and it was her 10th anniversary. We were still talking at 10 o'clock
Yeah.
last night. And Vida and I do the same thing. We're texting each other all weekend. Like those face to face people, I've developed much stronger relationships. I did 2 years ago. I did a retreat with a group of women that I had never met face to face before. And now we just check in with each other. We call each other. We make sure that we're doing okay. We're like those relationships are just so strong. And I can't wait to be able to have Vida close because I've determined Vida's moving closer to me, just so y'all know. She hasn't decided that yet, but I have. And once she does, we can go to the movies together.
Yeah.
And we can go torture bands at bars together. And
Yeah.
we can, well,
Heckle
there's
construction workers.
construction workers, the bookstore.
Yeah.
We will spend a lot of time at and there are 12 bookstores within 20 minutes of me. 12
Oh
bookstores.
yeah.
And craft stores and those relationship building connection pieces are huge. And this weekend, we get to spend all day Saturday together.
I know. And yes, it's a work thing. However, you can't spend that much time together and not like get some friendship stuff in, you know?
Oh, absolutely. So this is why we have our trip to Disney World. And it is about learning. We're going to show you how to do a million things. We've gone over that 100 times. I'm not going to go through that now. But it is ultimately to build your strong village because we all need a village and we don't have them. And our families, we're usually the black sheep of our family. So our families are not part of our village.
Well, and it's the funniest thing too, as a neurodivergent person, when you make friends that like, and okay, I don't mean the surface level friends that we all have because we're masking. Like the people that call you every now and then, or you see and they're like, "Oh, how are you?" And you're like, "I'm fine." And you immediately ask them a question about them so that they don't ask more questions about you. I mean like a neurodivergent friend that you make and you look at them and you're around them and you're like, "Oh, you're like me."
They
Because
get
those turn into like hyper focused friends because you're like, it feels so nice to be in their presence because I don't have to mask and I can say stuff and they don't look at me weird or like I'm rude or whatever. And so that's what Danielle is for me.
and that's what Vida is for me. It's hard. Other people, I have to be careful with how I talk about my car. My car is a sore subject with one of my friends because I have a cute, expensive car, which I honestly has zero to do with the brand of car I have. It was the fact that it was a tiny little red convertible. I mean, that my husband laughs at me and he's like, you really don't care what the badge on the car is. I'm like, no, I like the fact that it was a little tiny red convertible, and the other one I drove was too big and I didn't like it.
And you kept getting pulled over because they thought you were a kid.
Yeah, okay. The thing is surprising because I've gotten pulled over because I'm too short. Anyway, but having friends, I can just talk about that stuff and not feel guilty, because I have a friend that makes me feel guilty about that. I have a friend or somebody in my family that makes me feel really guilty because I moved. I have a friend that makes me feel guilty because I talk about Disney World too much.
Okay, growing up, I have been told that I talk about a lot of things too much. And anytime what did I see? I saw something the other day that talked about neurodivergent people, about when we meet people, especially as adults, because we've learned all these coping skills, like we give people little pieces of us as like we're testing them to see if they're okay with it. And then if we get any pushback, then we're just like, okay, there's the line. And we don't give them any more of ourselves after that. Because it's not safe.
It's not safe. We hold back, we mask, which it takes a lot of energy for us and stress. And it's just not, it's not the same as our neurodivergent friends. So how do you build face-to-face connections in a safe way?
I have a theory about this because I've talked to my daughter recently about this. You have to go where your people are, right? And because I think that lessons now, for those of us out there that have social anxiety and different things, like it's scary, right? My daughter's 17, she's getting ready to be 18, and she was homeschooled. And so she wants to make friends, but she doesn't really know where to go. So we looked on Meetup for things of her interest area. Like there's one that's like comic book nerds bowling league or whatever. And it's like, oh, that sounded fun, And I am definitely not going to make her go places by herself if she doesn't want to, but like we can all go as a group and see if this fits, So look for things in your interest area and see if there's an activity that you can do that's low level so that you can test the water.
The other thing is have somebody else make the introductions. I will tell you, your extroverted, high achieving neurodivergent friend is the person to introduce you to other people and help you build your community.
Yeah, because everybody has at least one of those.
And in your case here, if you hang out with us, it's both Vida and I. And a lot of times it really is. It took me a while to build my I collected introverted friends for years. I collected them because they were easy to collect. I didn't realize they were all neurodivergent for a long time, but I collected introverts because they were scared and they had a hard time fitting into social things. And I would drag them out to the bar with me to go see my husband's band, and I would drag them out to lunch. And then I realized after a while, oh, I'm collecting neurodivergents like they're Beanie Babies or something. That's my word this week for collecting, I guess.
Beanie Babies, you said it a lot, yeah.
But it's so important to have that bridge person. We need that bridge person. And that is part of what we're doing at Disney World, is creating that bridge.
Yeah.
We are those bridge people for you. We're going to, one, help you find a roommate that you can really get very, very close to. Two, we're going to create a Slack channel for you all to talk to each other before we get anywhere. And for you to continue to talk to from now until the day you die. You aren't going to get kicked out or anything. You will have that Slack channel available to you to continue to chat with each other. We're also going to create an area in our online community specifically for those of you that go to Disney World, so you can hang out and get to know each other and share memes and do whatever it is you want to do. And we're giving you a year of group coaching so that you as a group can continue to hang out. And you get 4 days in Disney World. And if you don't know what to talk about, Talk about the Disney character, talk about what ride you want to go on, talk about what food you want to eat next. Those are good and easy and safe conversations to have to start out.
Yeah. Or if you have one of those extroverted friends, it's like you two have the same hyper focus and discuss.
Yes. And we're going to have pins and buttons and things of my hyper focus is, and you can write in whatever your hyper focus of the day is. Mine might change day to day while we're there. You never, no, it's not going to. It's going to be Star Wars or Disney World. That's all there is to it. But you can create. We're going to create the safe space for you so that you are less overwhelmed with the thought of doing a trip like this.
Yeah, because we're taking care of the things. Like, we don't need you to take care of the things. We're taking care of all the things. All you have to do is pack and show up. And if you need help with the packing list, we can do that too. But you just have to show up and we've got you. Like, we've 100% got you, and we've got all the activities planned. We've made sure that everyone's going to be able to eat. Like, if you don't know what to do, we can help you with that, on your free time. Like, it doesn't matter because we've totally got you. It is basically summer camp for neurodivergent people.
It is. We've created safe spaces. So we've hired Jessica, and you've seen Jessica go live with us a few times. Jessica is actually there to help you get out of overwhelm. If you're overwhelmed with the noise, the sight, the sounds, whatever, Jessica actually has a plan set up for taking care of you for that. That's who she is. That's why we're bringing her with us. She is amazing and she is awesome. And she knows Disney, like every nook and cranny of Disney. So she knows where all of the good things are. We have hired a travel agent who specifically helps with disability travel to Disney World. Like, that is what she does, which is really amazing. They have all kinds of flyers for us and worksheets for us and tips and tricks and everything ahead of time. And we have packing lists for you. So you don't have to figure out what your packing list is. We have one for you. We're going to help you find your safe foods. If you have food allergies, we're going to help you fill out the paperwork for the food allergies ahead of time so you know where the safe places to eat are. Like, all of that taken care of. You'll have a magic band so you can get in and out of your room without having a card or a thing or a code to remember all of that. I bought wipe off or wristbands. They're like the slap wristbands for you to write on and to write your room number on and things that you needed to remember through the day that you could just wear on your wrist or you could put on your backpack or in your pocket, because I never remember where my room is.
Yeah.
I have number issues. I won't remember what the number of my room is, and they all look the same to me. So I'm not going to do that.
I've also been watching a lot of The Love Boat, and so I'm really up to speed on my cruise director type tasks. So I could have a clipboard with that stuff.
Well, I watched WALL-E last night, so I'm watching every Disney movie possible to make sure that I have all of the tips and tricks in my head. But we've created this space for you so that you can have face-to-face things, so you are less overwhelmed. When we have a village, when we build our tribe, we get together with them, our overwhelm decreases. And somebody found the stat for me. Gina, thank you. Gina found the stat for me. It decreases by 80% when we have a village.
Yeah.
80%. I could do to feel 80% less overwhelmed day to day.
Whew, I definitely could. It would be, but even us, and we know, and we help run the village, right? We get overwhelmed sometimes. And what happens when neurodivergent people get overwhelmed? We withdraw into ourselves because that's always been our safe place. And there's nothing wrong with that for a short time. It's when it turns into a long time that we have more issues because there's nobody to help lift us out of it or help us lift ourselves out of it,
It's when we have our tribe, when we have our village, we truly are able to unmask, be free, be less shame, have less shame, not be less shame, have less shame, and really, really overcome all of the things that are overwhelming us, because we're not by ourselves. Even if you are overwhelmed, because we all get overwhelmed. get overwhelmed every single day. I still do every single day, even with all these tips and tricks. I can go to Gina, I can go to Vida, and I can say, okay, overwhelmed, help. And they can talk me down.
Mm-hmm.
Or remind me to eat, drink water, go breathe, the things that I forget to do. So what is your tribe? Who is your village? Do you need help building one? Come join us, because you could join us for $19.99 a month. You could join us in Disney World. We have every single system for you already in place to get you out of overwhelm.
Yeah.
Because you know how to do the thing. You just can't get yourself out of the overwhelm. So you can do the thing.
Can definitely do the thing. Sometimes you just have to have people remind you that you can do the thing.
I just have to have people to remind me to drink things, eat things, go to the bathroom, breathe. Those are the basics that I never seem to get myself. So, but having that village is so important to living a better life. And you're too far away, but we need to get together and see movies. There are so many movies coming out this summer.
Oh, Fall Guys coming out this weekend.
That's this weekend?
Yeah.
Well, that's not happening this weekend. I won't have it.
I made my kids watch all the old Fall Guys.
I do that to my son. So we used to make him watch old movies. The only one he will never forgive us for is Close Encounters of the Third Kind.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
We have cheesy movie nights all the time.
Uh-huh. We've done a bunch of crazy ones because it's like, if our kid's like, I haven't seen that, and I'm like, well, I can fix that.
That's easy. My husband had never seen the Herbie movies.
Well, I love
replace it through all of those Herbie movies. He's like, oh my gosh, those are like the Three Stooges on steroids and even more ridiculous. And yes, they are.
Yeah.
You're a car guy. How can you have not seen the Herbie movies?
Right. This is a precursor to Knight Rider, man.
Dude. Yes. Now I need to watch Knight Rider again. I haven't watched that yet.
I love all those old shows. Some of them do not age well, but I love some of those old shows. Like The Fall Guy, like it 100% reminds me of my dad, because my dad was like just this super adventurous guy, and he was always getting hurt. So I watched The Fall Guy, and I know even from being a little kid, I can sing the whole theme song. And so we bought one of those ridiculous like plastic like microphones that they give little kids. And Dakota and I were taking turns singing it in the living room, and Tucson's like, I can't be here for this.
I just didn't. That was not a thing. Yeah, my husband gets embarrassed when we're home alone, and he gets annoyed or embarrassed, or a combination of those, that I sing along with every Disney movie, like every song in every Disney movie ever. He's like, how do you know? You can't remember to go to the bathroom and eat lunch, and you know every word to every song in every Disney movie. Yep.
And okay, so I also remember, like, I don't remember everything, and I don't remember it if it's not in the context of watching the movie, but I can quote all the movies. Like, and like everybody turned on. I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, I was saying that out loud, because it gets annoying, right? Like people are trying to watch the movie and you're just sitting here like quoting it.
Mm-hmm. A Princess Bride comes up in conversations constantly. Princess Bride, Marvel movies, Lord of the Rings movies. I mean, every Star Wars is a huge thing in my house, because my poor husband, who didn't mind Star Wars before, has now seen them all 9,000 times, because I watch them at least 3 times a year. But when you have a village that understands you, you get relationships just like this. And your family isn't always that.
Yeah.
So come and join us at Disney World. We've got so many fun things going on, and tickets are going up again at the end of this month. So they go up another $250. We have weekly payments. We have monthly payments. We have third-party options to pay. And if you have HSA and FSA, you can use part of your funds to pay for this trip, because it is a health and wellness retreat. That is the point of this treat. It's for your health. It's for your wellness. It's for your mindset. It is for your brain. So come and join us. I hope you have an amazing day, everyone.